But Star Wars, well, it's hard to say because 2 was really, you started out as 4, 5, 6. Let's just agree that the second 3 didn't exist. I'm gonna give you a mulligan on Jar Jar. I want to call a mulligan on a decade of filmmaking. Save us, J.J. Abrams, bro, please. The original. Let's talk about the original 3. It doesn't always work like Back to the Future, where it was simple 1, 2, 3. That one you would have to go with Empire Strikes Back, then the original, A New Hope, and then Return of the Jedi. Well, it didn't matter if you agree. I'm right on that. I mean, there's some things that are up for debate, but that one, no. Hello, adventurer. So in this episode, I'm excited because we are going to show you a couple of apps that are going to just be amazing for your photos. The problem that happens sometimes is our photos don't naturally fit into sometimes the square box. We say you got to get out of the box, but the problem is when you get $1 billion for your app from Facebook, you got to work inside the box. So Instagram doesn't let us do a lot of things outside of that box. So I know the problem that you deal with sometimes. It's that you have this really great picture, and how are they going to see your beautiful hair and those beautiful shoes? But don't worry, we have an app for that, and it's called Whiteogram. It works on Android, iOS, other phones, and so I don't want there to be a big fight. I just want you Droid people and you Apple people just to give each other a big hug. So let's jump into Whiteogram so that we can show the world how fabulous your photo really is. Okay, here we are in Whiteogram. Now, one of the things I want to do first is I'm going to go to the settings, location services. I want to make sure that that is turned on so that it can use my location. I don't want to have to delete that every time. So just hit enter and then that will go away. So those are two little settings. I'm here. It's a really simple app. I'm going to go choose an existing photo and I'm going to go to my camera roll here. So here's that picture we just talked about in Instagram where it wouldn't be as dynamic. If you wanted to, it does allow you to, I can play with the brightness of it a little bit, or because it works with Aviary, I can take this picture and now it's using the other app of Aviary that we had talked about where I can add a little bit to it from Aviary. So that's when those apps start to talk to each other. And then I can even, if I wanted to change the background, I generally leave that though on the white. Now, if you wanted to, you could pay to have labels and stuff, but we have Aviary for that. Now I can download this picture or I can go right to Instagram. So I always download it. The reason why I download is if I go right into Instagram, I might want to zoom in a little bit. So I'm just going to download it. All I do is go over to my Instagram here, make that there. And so the difference of what that allows me to do now is that I can zoom in a little bit. Next, and then boom, there you go. And then when I go to add it to the photo map, it's going to show now that this was in Fort Worth is built into that because I had that setting set correctly. So download Whiteogram, whether that is that beautiful panoramic shot outside your office, which hopefully can be anywhere in the world, or whether you're about to walk the runway and we can see that fabulous shot of those awesome kicks that you got on. The other one I want to show you is called Layout. What Layout will do is it's a relatively new app, but it was just released by Instagram, so those integrations work really well. So the other problem is we're not getting all of your adventure in that box, but what happens if it's like, well, I got like 2 or 3 really great pictures, I can't choose. Well, you don't want to be a spammer and post them back to back. And so what you can do that's really great is you can do like a mosaic where you're taking 3 or 4 photos or put a collage together, and that helps tell a story. I've played around with it, I like it a lot, but again, you don't have to use just this one. The concept is you wanna have an app that allows you to build a collage relatively easy because your adventure is a story. So we talk about like there's this depth of distance and how we can use technology to actually connect with our families and our friends more. And so one of the things that I like to do is I'll take FaceTime, and if I'm out of town, I'll talk to the kids. I was really excited because I got him a Star Wars Lego toy, but then I found out that I had to go out of town for just a one-day meeting and come right back. So I was thinking, well, why don't we just build the Legos together? And so we got on FaceTime and we were doing that and we had a great time. We were laughing and having a ton of fun, and I was doing some screen grabs. And then afterwards, I just thought that was so much fun. I want to post and encourage, like, you can use technology to accelerate that. And then I looked at it and I was like, I didn't really have a good one photo. It was hard to kind of tell the story and what was going on. So I just looked and used Layout to create several different pictures to tell the story of what that felt like. And one picture wouldn't have done it, but 3 pictures told the story. So let me show you in Layout how you can use it to help tell the story of your adventure. Okay, so here I am in Layout. And what I like about it, even just right from the start, is it's going to look for just faces. So if I had a bunch of things in the camera roll and it's like, oh, I have these, I can just go right to faces. And that's really great because it's going to, essentially weed out my choices. So here's the 3 photos that I just selected. Then I can choose a layout. So what I have here is now I'm starting to kind of tell this story, So here's that ship. See, what you can do is you can size them all. We can say, well, we need more of the ship. So see how you're grabbing that edge? It's a little bit darker. I can say I want more or less of that. Even move that here. And then I'm moving this down. Pretty easy. Like, let's say I wanted to, you can flip that around, you can mirror that, or go back and say, no, literally, I want to replace it. Pretty straightforward. One thing that I love about it is it doesn't have the thick borders on that. So I think it just looks a lot more elegant. Then it's pretty easy that I can have it go right into Instagram or Facebook. I've built this story of the death of distance and how we're getting me and he's showing me stuff, his reaction, which is priceless, what we're working on. There was no one photo that can make that work. And so that becomes super cool. Okay, so there you have it. 2 apps that you're gonna have a lot of fun with. Remember, your adventure is grand. And so when you have a grand adventure, it doesn't always fit inside the box. So Widergram is gonna help you get all that into a shot, or your adventure is so grand that you're gonna need a couple of photos to tell that story. Either way, live that grand adventure, have fun, and your adventure begins right now.